Good evening, friends. Today, we gather not for our usual snapshot of the week's news, but to honor a life cut far too short. I am Caption America, the voice behind this channel, inspired by a hero's shield and star-spangled resolve. But beneath this mask lies a 30-something young man who sees the world through eyes much like those of the man we're remembering today, Charlie Kirk. My channel was born from a simple idea: capture a moment from the news, discuss it from a pro-American, conservative viewpoint, and then extend an open hand to those who see it differently. It's about dialogue, not division, making the case for values like freedom, faith, and family, then inviting the conversation. This format? It was directly inspired by Charlie Kirk's fearless example. He built bridges with bold words, challenging the status quo while welcoming debate. Think of superheroes in the comics. They don masks to shield themselves and their loved ones from the shadows of evil that seek retribution. The veil protects their true identities, allowing them to fight without fear for those they hold dear. But Charlie? He stood unmasked, his face and name front and center, pouring out his convictions without that protective layer. He faced the storms head-on, knowing the risks, yet driven by a deeper calling to defend what he believed was right for America. In that way, Charlie was the real superhero, vulnerable, yet unbreakable. His courage without concealment moves me deeply, and it's why this channel exists. Rest in peace, Charlie. You've inspired more than you know. On September 10, 2025, at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, the conservative activist community gathered for what was meant to be an evening of inspiration and dialogue. Charlie Kirk, 31, was there as the keynote speaker for a Turning Point USA event, a series focused on empowering young voices in the political arena. The evening unfolded like so many of Charlie's appearances, engaging, thoughtful. He had just wrapped up a segment on the vital role of open discourse in a divided nation, fielding questions from students about bridging ideological gaps. The conversation was lively yet respectful, with Charlie emphasizing unity through honest exchange. It was in that moment of connection, around 7:45 p.m. local time, that tragedy struck. A single shooter approached from the crowd and fired, ending Charlie's life instantly. Campus security and local law enforcement responded swiftly, securing the area and ensuring the safety of attendees. No other injuries were reported. The incident was immediately classified as a targeted act, sending shockwaves through the nation. We report these details with the utmost respect for the gravity of the loss, honoring Charlie's memory without dwelling on the horror. Charlie Kirk's journey began humbly, as a high school student in the Chicago suburbs, where he first felt the call to activism. At just 18 in 2012, he co-founded Turning Point USA with a vision to counter what he saw as liberal bias on college campuses and ignite conservative principles among young people. Starting with a handful of chapters and limited resources, bolstered by early support from philanthropist Foster Friess, Turning Point USA grew from a grassroots idea into a national powerhouse. By 2024, the organization boasted over 850 active campus chapters across the U.S., with a budget exceeding $17.9 million in net assets. It had mobilized millions through events, voter outreach, and digital campaigns, reaching an estimated 10 million young conservatives annually via social media and summits. Turning Point Action Arm focused on elections, helping turn out youth voters in key races, contributing to conservative gains in 2022 and 2024 midterms. Charlie's leadership was the heartbeat. His podcast, The Charlie Kirk Show, amassed over 3.3 million YouTube subscribers pre-2025, while live events drew tens of thousands. He transformed skepticism into action, proving that a new generation could champion fiscal responsibility, limited government, and traditional values. His rise wasn't just organizational. It was a movement, touching lives and reshaping the political landscape for the better. At the core of Charlie Kirk's work was a profound commitment to foundational American ideals, woven with threads of faith and humanity. He championed freedom of speech as the bedrock of democracy, often saying, "When people stop talking, that's when you get violence." He believed open dialogue was essential to healing divides, urging conservatives and liberals alike to engage without fear. Charlie spoke passionately about love, life, and family as divine gifts. Every human being, I believe, is made in the image of the divine, is sacred, is unique, he once shared, emphasizing protection for the unborn and support for strong families. On Christian values, he was unapologetic, critiquing the over-separation of church and state and advocating for faith's role in public life. Jesus defeated death so you can live, he posted days before his passing, a reminder of hope amid trials. His words weren't just rhetoric, they were a call to live with purpose, prioritizing marriage, community, and moral clarity. Charlie's message was one of joyful conviction, inviting others to embrace these truths for a freer, more loving America. The suspect in Charlie's assassination is Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old former student from Utah with apparent left-leaning political views. Authorities believe his motive stemmed from deep opposition to Kirk's conservative activism, viewing him as a threat to progressive ideals. Robinson had expressed online disdain for Turning Point USA's influence, though he provided no formal manifesto. Following the shooting, a nationwide manhunt ensued, with the FBI releasing photos and alerts within hours. Robinson evaded capture for 2 days, last seen in rural Utah areas, before being apprehended peacefully near Provo on September 12. He faces charges of aggravated murder, obstruction of justice, and felony discharge of a firearm. As of now, he is not cooperating with investigators. Tragically, the killer succeeded in taking Charlie's life, but he missed the true target, silencing a movement. Instead, his actions have ignited an explosion of support. Turning Point USA reports campus chapter requests surging to over 32,000, more than triple pre-incident levels, with chapters now at 900 nationwide. Social media followers for Kirk's accounts and Turning Point USA have gained millions. YouTube subscribers jumped from 3.3 million to 3.6 million in days. Conservative media outlets like Fox News have dedicated airtime to his legacy, with hosts calling it a wake-up call. Public figures, including House Speaker Mike Johnson, stated, "I think this could be a turning point for the country." Eric Trump remarked, "Charlie Kirk's death has awoken that sleeping giant," noting energized rallies. Even President Trump, from the Oval Office, called it an assassination and honored Kirk as a patriot who devoted his life to open debate. Politicians from governors to senators have pledged resources to Turn Point USA's growth. And then there's Erica Kirk, Charlie's devoted wife. In her first public words, she said, "The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached truth. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife." The tears of this widow will become a battle cry. Her resolve echoes Charlie's, fueling a movement stronger than ever. In closing, let us reflect on the faith that defined Charlie Kirk. To his last breath, he lived as a testament to Christian values. He boldly shared the gospel, reasoning with love and patience, much like Christ's original followers who traveled, preached the good news, and stood firm without judgment. They faced persecution as extremists threatening the status quo, silenced for their conviction. Charlie mirrored that humble way of life, treated as a danger for his unyielding principles, yet he responded with grace. He wanted to be remembered above all for his faith. In an interview less than 3 months ago, when asked how he'd like to be remembered, Charlie replied, "I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. Most important thing is my faith." For me, Charlie embodies faithful service. Whenever I read this scripture, Matthew 25 verse 21, his master replied, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will put you in charge of many things." Whenever I hear these words, I will think of Charlie. His life was a faithful charge, and his eternal reward awaits. Thank you, Charlie, for showing us how to live boldly in faith. God bless you, and God bless America.